There comes a moment in almost every journey of unlocking the heart where you realize you've been wearing so many layers that you've forgotten what your own skin feels like. Not the skin you show the world, the smiles, the polite nods, the version of you that fits into spaces you've been placed in, but the one that underneath all that, the one that doesn't perform, the one that breathes before it reacts, the one that, if you're really honest, you've missed. I think back to a time when I feel truly, deeply myself. It wasn't in the moments when I was praised the most, or when I hit milestones that looked good on paper. It was often in the quiet, unscripted moments, laughing too hard with someone I trusted, dancing to YouTube videos in my living room without a single thought about how I looked, singing my heart out at midnight on my couch, or simply sitting in nature with no agenda, just feeling like the world didn't need me to be anything but present. And maybe you've had those moments too. The ones where you didn't have to edit your words, where your smile wasn't practiced, where you felt safe enough to let your whole self breathe, but somewhere along the way, life happens. We get hurt, we get told we're too much, or not enough, or too quiet, or too sensitive, or too ambitious. We start to mold ourselves to fit into relationships, into jobs, into roles that promise belonging, but ask for pieces of our soul in return. And piece by piece, that true self becomes a whisper. It doesn't disappear, but it starts hiding in the spaces where it still feels safe. Your journal, your daydreams, the moments just before you fall asleep. Now, this journey of unlocking your heart isn't about creating a new you. It's about coming back to the you that was already there, the one who didn't second guess every word, the one who loved without calculation, the one who still remembers how to play, even if the world told you to grow up too soon. Today, I want to ask you something that might sound simple, but can feel incredibly brave. When was the last time you felt most like yourself? Not the self you think people expect, but the one that feels real, raw, and free. Was it a childhood memory, barefoot in the grass, making up stories with the sun on your face? Was it a teenage version of you who dared to dream before someone told you to be realistic? Or was it a moment more recent when you were vulnerable with a friend, or stood up for yourself even when your voice trembled, or bravely told someone you loved them even though you knew you would be rejected? The truth is, your heart doesn't want you to become someone else. It wants you to return, to reclaim, to remember. Reclaiming your true self is not about rejecting all the roles you've played. It's about no longer losing yourself in them. It's the art of saying, I can be a parent, a partner, a friend, a leader, and still be me. I don't have to trade authenticity for acceptance because real connection, the kind your heart is longing for, only happens when you bring your real self to the table. So, why is this is so important for unlocking your heart? Because a guarded heart often comes from self abandonment. Somewhere deep down, you stop trusting that being you was safe enough. And so you put on the armor. And now you might even wonder, who am I under all this? This is the moment to start finding out. Not by force, but by gentle remembering. And here's the beauty, your true self never really leaves you. It's like a friend who waits patiently, who whispers in the moments between noise, who smiles quietly when you catch yourself doing something that feels so natural it surprises you. Today's practice will help you reconnect with that part of you. It's simple, but it's powerful because reflection is how we reclaim. Here's what I want you to do. Sometime today, when you have a quiet moment, grab a notebook or open a blank page and write down 3 times in your life when you felt completely authentic. Times when you weren't trying to impress, when you weren't performing, when you were simply being and it felt good. They don't have to be big moments. Maybe it was when you said no and felt a rush of freedom. Maybe it was when you cried in front of someone and didn't apologize. Maybe it was when you created something just for the joy of it, without posting or proving anything. For me, it's when I practice martial arts. No makeup, no jewelries, no ego. Just me working hard, sweating, and not caring a bit about how I look. And what about you? Write them down. And for each moment, ask yourself, what made me feel so real then? Who was I allowing myself to be? And what would it feel like to invite a little more of that version of me into my life today? This isn't about going backward. It's about gathering the threads of who you've always been and weaving them into the present, because that's what authenticity really is: alignment between who you are and how you show up. And I know it can feel scary. You might worry, will people still accept me? Will I lose something if I stop pretending? The truth is, yes, you might. But what you gain is so much greater: self trust, freedom, and a heart that doesn't have to hide anymore. So, tonight, after this video, give yourself this gift: reflect, remember, reclaim. And as you do, know that your heart is not asking for perfection, it's asking for presence, it's asking for you.